Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Great to be here. I have for the last months been the head of R&D at Tagesschau. And Tagesschau, for those of you who don't know us, is a household name in German TV. And it is very much equivalent with reliable news. We've been around since for 66 years. And for our main bulletin at 8 p.m., we have an audience, not for this show, but for this one here, of 10 million viewers each night. You can tune down the volume. It's not really necessary, thank you. The average age is 62. So that's the upper left corner, our 8 o'clock news bulletin viewers. For us, it's pretty clear that we need to do more to reach younger audiences. For instance, with our website, where the average age right now is 42, or with our news app, 36, or on social platforms where the average age is around 30. At the same time, we are already stretched very, very thinly over our different outlets and platforms, and cross-media is really hard and labor-intensive for us to do. Every new outlet stretches us more, so we are interested in solutions that help us cover more ground with the same amount of people. So when we joined SANDBOX earlier this year, we were already working with more or less local startups. And through our partnership with Next Media Accelerator in Hamburg, we met 3 startups that basically, all in their own way, help us cover more ground with the same amount of people. Content Flow, you will learn about them in the later segment. 23 Degrees, you will in a minute learn more about them. And Cutnut, they're not here today, so I can talk a bit about them without breaking Hendrik's rules. They will, if all goes well, show us at Tagesschau how to produce a stories format for all kinds of platforms and purposes like Instagram, Google AMP, or WhatsApp status. They are building a tool for newsrooms and reporters to create stories on the fly and publish them easily on all relevant platforms. With all startups, we usually do what we call a pilot or short sequence of pilots, and if all goes well, we follow that up with the first contract, and then we see where we take it from there. Now, where does SANDBOX Hub factor in at all? What we have really come to appreciate about the SANDBOX Hub since we joined is networking with European colleagues and getting to know their trusted startups. As for the startups, they have a chance to meet more European media companies, so their incentive, I think, is clear as well. And what we plan next in 2019, we want to find startups sooner, maybe even while they are in the process of being founded, for instance, by working closer with universities and colleges. We've already started first small semester collaborations with the HMS, the Hamburg Media School, and we're looking into doing something similar with technical universities in our area. Another way to find media startups sooner is to visit events like Slush in Helsinki. It's going to be in the next 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, thank you, Ronald. And that's pretty much what I prepared for this segment. So if you have any immediate questions, we can address that. I'm good in time. I have another 40 seconds. Questions? Here we go.
We need the mic for the
yeah.
How do you put all this innovation in your very traditional way of making news?
How do we integrate the innovation? I think the trick is to find innovation that doesn't need any editorial overhead all the time. So basically to automate or help find tools to automate what we're doing. I could have explained it with Content Flow, but Content Flow will explain itself how it makes a tedious work, for instance, of starting live streams on all kinds of outlets in a one center solution. Or what I described about Cutnut is pretty much that. Take something, do it on a central point, and then spread it to all the outlets, and pretty much that is what Johannes also does with 23 degrees to us. Does this somehow address your question? Okay. Henrik.
Thank you very much.
Hi, welcome everyone, and it's very nice to be here for me. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Christian, for taking me with you here. So 23 Degrees is a platform for data visualization. And the question that you just addressed at Tagesschau, I think I can very easily come to a point where you will find out why we are a good partner in this respect, actually. The thing is that, and the big problem today is that data-driven journalism or data journalism is too costly. I mean, this is perhaps not the problem of the public sector or of big broadcasters as you are here, but it's a problem of all the regional and smaller broadcasters that are not able to finance that because it's just not efficient. Meaning that we have too much search costs and all this thing that finally will be in your website or will be anywhere else. It just takes too long. It takes hours and hours, and we're talking about stuff that can be, for example, automized. I will come to this later on. So that's why we set up 23 Degrees. So what we do is actually, in very brief, we aggregate a lot of data. We do it on our own, we have our own roadmap, or we help like on purpose, like if someone says, okay, we have a project like this, we do some premium services, do research, visualize for you, and just give you like sets of themes, of topics that you can use for your own insights and publications. So in very brief, because this was one of the most important stuff that I was told is, what is the good thing about 23 Degrees? A, we are working cross-medial. So everything that we provide you can be, so you can streamline with our content every channel. So meaning that with one data set you can, or with one visual, you can really like place content on social media, on your website, on your app, in television, whatever. So it's really suited to be freed at this point. This makes working with us and working with data very efficient. Same thing, efficiency, second point. We have a lot of data that we crawl and that we keep updated. So you can automate a lot. So you can automate workflows with your data-driven journalism, like, I don't know, labor data, influencer sickness data, we have it all. So, I don't know, we have live APIs for volcano eruptions and so on, and we just give you live data. The third thing is that, and this was one important aspect of the first project we had with Tagesschau, the first pilot, is we can easily hyper-regionalize content, meaning that we can provide people, for example, in chatbots, with personalized data content. So coming to us, what did we with Tagesschau? Actually, we developed our core product, which is called the Publishing Suite, further with Tagesschau, and we'll even develop it further in the next year, meaning that we develop one tool that is suitable for all channels, as I said. So we have interactive data visualizations and slideshows. We have integrations suitable for After Effects and stuff, so vector graphics. We have GIF exports, we have bot integration possibilities. So with us, you can really easily take all your like channels into account. And the most important thing is really this cross-medial thing. So if you provide people with one tool, you will avoid, and I was really surprised, if I may say that they are running around with sheets of paper and type in data. And you don't have to do that anymore. And I was really surprised that if social media has a data set, or if online has a data set, then this doesn't necessarily mean that television or vice versa knows even about it and is able to just reuse it. So, and this is actually what we did. And so like in particular, this means that first of all, we were running with Novi, which is a chatbot of Tagesschau. We were running a data quiz. So we, on this data quiz, every user had the possibility to give his postal or zip code or something. And we had sets of data sets, like, I don't know, 7, 10 sets that we had before, that we could personalize quiz-based questions on. So when I'm from North Rhine-Westphalia, from Düsseldorf, the questions and the data visualizations are suited to myself, actually. And the second thing, which I'm not really showing, is another project that we are running with Katowice at the beginning of December, which is really a much bigger rollout, where we also did a lot of research, as I said, and where we provide a set and a massive set of pre-visualized stuff that is suitable for all the channels, that is suitable for research, that is suitable for preparing articles and communication on this event. And I think it will be nice. So if you're interested, just tell me later. Then when it's launched, I can tell you and I can show you what we did there. But I'm not really allowed to work on it. What we do for our customers is we not just give you live access or the access to databases, we are really giving you also access to reports. So if there is reports from providers like Transparency that already work with us, other reports on whatever, on environmental issues, we can provide you with the KPIs of these reports, easily to analyze, easily to see. And we also give you like reports on, as I said, employment data, sickness data, everything for you ready to use live. Of course, so what's the roadmap there? We will have, in the next year, we will have around 10 million data sets, I guess. So we have on our roadmap a lot of usually public data sets that we just crawl. But the important thing is that what we figured out on our research, also with NMA, who is here today, because we're a startup of Next Media Accelerator also, is that you can really automate 50% of the data that is coming to you. Correct. So we can really help you to be very efficient, not just this cross-medial thing that we are right now really implementing with Tagesschau, which is actually working really nicely because people are very happy that they have a way to work together. Then suddenly there's television, social media, and the web guys. They're sitting together there and they can work on a project and they can give information around. So this is really a cool thing. Of course, you can also upload your own data because we are KI driven, so we understand everything that we find there and we enhance it with meta tags and stuff, so this is very easy. We can talk about this very later. As I said, you can automatically regionalize stuff, so you can also automatically regionalize insights from data sets that are really huge. So we have a pilot running with Associated Press on this also, because they can provide content once, which is from the whole US, and then all the people can just easily break it down to what they're interested in. So we are, since 2 months, we are selling ourselves and our souls, and it's really working fine. We are based in Vienna and in Hamburg, and we're really happy if you're interested also to talk to us. So I'm pretty sure that we can offer you good solutions, scalable solutions, and solutions that will not break down the workflows and will not scare your staff. Thanks a lot. This is awesome.
Hi, I'm Sabella, Program Director, Next Media Accelerator in Hamburg. What we do special in Hamburg that maybe other media hubs don't do, we turn our media entrepreneurs into business Rottweilers. We do. Okay, maybe more into this one. But it's not because we're really aggressive to them and you know we're like a little bit crazy. It's just because when they come to Hamburg, here they are. You know, some of them they have some media background, some of them they don't have at all, some of them have really great product ideas, some of them have products already. But the very, very big mistakes many of them do is that they are really in love with the product, but they don't know how it works. They don't know which are the customer needs. They don't know who actually is going to be the customer, who's going to pay for it. So what we like doing to them is just playing the ice bucket challenge. So we take them straight away to the worst. So guys, you're going to discover what it is to be in the real market and in the real life stuff. So we take them to Berlin, we keep them in Hamburg and make them pitch, visit, and talk to every single person in the media industry around. We take them to Munich, so they pitch day and night, they don't sleep, they actually hate us by the end of the program. Actually, six-month program, they are not just for granted. So we give them 50K, they give us a 10% in return. So, you know, that's the price they need to pay for it. And the first partners they actually visit are those ones. There are 30 media houses and media agencies from Germany and Austria. of course, they're our investors. So the money we give the startups, it did not appear out of the nowhere. They gave us the money to invest in them. And besides this, once we have, like, for example, Christian and Tagesschau, they are also our partners, not directly investors, but innovation as a service partners. So those ones get first-class access. We take the startups, they start working with them, ideally, because the idea is that after they visit all of them, they match. Of course, it can be, as Peter or Sarah mentioned after, it can be very successful, or it can be not that successful. So one night stand or love forever, I don't know. Ideally, they actually learn from each other for the best, for the worst, and actually they close down some pilots. Eventually, they turn into customers. So we've been acting like that, doing this bigger and bigger since 2015. We invested already in 43 startups coming from over 10 countries. We keep on the area of Europe, Israel, and United States. Because of reasons we cannot really invest in any other countries, it'll be very difficult for us. However, we cover a super wide spectrum. So we do from teams interesting for broadcasters, but also for traditional print publishers. So if you're interested, you can talk to me later and check the 43 startups, or you can just go in the website and check the portfolio by yourselves. In any case, we have 2 after me, besides 23 Degrees, that also belong to the NMA family. You can talk to them straight away after. And of course, being part of the VRT Sandbox Hub is for us super interesting, because we don't want to keep the startups to work just with the media agencies and media houses in Germany and in Austria, but also have this access to an international network, European and also in the US. So for the moment, from the VRT Sandbox Hub members, we're working together with the Tagesschau, with Christian, and he actually mentioned already the interest in these 3 startups of our acceleration program. But ideally, you know, we start spreading the love, and we start spreading the opportunity of getting into many other markets in Europe. So the thing is, also the startups working with media, the Sandbox, they get access to come with us to New York, Media Match. We hosted that this year for the first time. Next year, I hope we do it as well. And of course, in Hamburg, they're very welcome. I could tell you things about ideas, projects, and things we've done together. No time for that. You can definitely get in touch. They're in our social media channels, and talk to me later. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I will tell you something about, no, first I have to, okay, thanks. Something about our story and our vision. So we started 2014, we were more or less a video production company based in Berlin, and our customers asked us to live stream their events, and we did this for several customers, and for this we had built an own software. And then last year, 2017, we applied at the Next Media Accelerator with the idea to make this software even better and usable for other customers as a software as a service solution. So we came to Hamburg, had this 6 months of hard work and coaching and everything, and at the end we had a finished product, nearly finished, because software is never finished. Then we have found first customers and worked on new features, found new customers, and this year we went to the USA, do some market research, but yeah, we came back with 2 US customers, and at the end with one investor, BetaWorks, and we found some other investors in Vienna, in Berlin, even in Japan. So we have new money now to build even more great features within our software. I don't have to tell you, because most of you are all from television and media. While live streaming is so interesting, users love live content, they love to watch live content. That's why they watch so long, even longer than VODs. And our vision is, like Martin Luther King said, I have a stream. We think everybody should stream live content which is worth to be streamed live, and that's why we want to make it as easy as possible, that things like this, that it doesn't work, that's what users hate. We want to avoid this and give you a simple and easy way. Because our problem we figured out at the beginning is that when you look on the software side, you have a lot of different services. For example, for integrating a live stream on a web page, for restream it to social networks, and for all the other stuff like the clipping, the rendering. So you had to put different software products together. And yeah, we wanted to bring this all at one place. That's nearly all you are doing with these big trucks at the moment. We put this into one software, which you can see here in the middle. One signal is coming in, and we are doing the rest for you. For example, the restreaming. That is what we call to send the signal to all the social media channels like Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Periscope, Twitch, but also give you it in your own website with our player. And then we added some other features. The restreamer is the distributing of the stream. But one very important thing is the live clipping, for example. If you have a breaking news situation and want to have the live content as a file immediately, you just can do this with our software while the stream is running. You can tell the software, okay, give me the last 10 minutes, and then this is rendered for you. And this comes together with the option of a cloud editing. So the only thing is your browser, and you can cut a video file. You can render a video file. And this saves you a lot of time because you don't have to download a file, import it through a cutting program locally, then render it out again. You can all do this in the cloud. And this saves you time because the rendering process is much faster than you know this when you're working with Avid, for example. Then we have some additional features. Of course, you get analytics. You can see how many users are watching it, where are they coming from. You can push it at the end to the social channels. So if you have a video file, you can add the intro, outro, whatever, make a new file, and then say, okay, publish this on Facebook, publish that on YouTube, wherever you want to have it, or put it on a server to integrate it in your system. So all this you have at one place in our cloud-based software. So this can be used not only for media events, it can be used for events in general, like the eSport League is using our software to work with all the video content they have. Here's an example of a concert where you can see with the restreaming, they get a lot of more viewers than they had, and 39 minutes of the average time users watched is what is amazing. Here an example of a conference where people even watched 108 minutes. So all this were people, they could take part, which were not at the location, and all this is possible with live streaming. And for media companies, as I told you, all these features like live clipping, the cloud editing and breaking news situation is so useful. And one big advantage is that all this can be done at the newsroom. You can have reporters outside, mobile reporters with smartphone, for example. They can stream, and then an editor can sit in the newsroom, can distribute the signal, can cut the signal. So this all saves a lot of time. The users are happy. At the end, you can think of new formats, of new ways of income. Of course, we have integrated the possibility to integrate your ads in the live stream if this is interesting for you. And we are working on even more interesting new features with the Google News initiative, for example, integrated face and object recognition to give users additional information even within the live stream window, for example, articles, informations about the person you see. So I've brought the software with me, of course. I've done every day with me on my laptop. I will show it to you if you like and give you a short demo and introduction. So just come to my table after the presentations. One question.
The first question is, are you interoperable? Do you have interoperability? Do you work with every platform? For example, we use at RAI, we use Avid as a production system.
Yeah.
So it works with your solution. And the other thing is your cloud the only cloud, or can we use also Azure or other clouds?
You could use your cloud if you like as well. Yeah, that would be possible. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you for the invitation. We are Iconics. This is my partner, Alexander. He's the brain. He's the guy who does his neuroinformatics. He does the fancy stuff. And I'm a content guy. All of my life, I was producing content. I was a cameraman, even working here and with the ORF. I produced content, mainly entertainment shows and music shows. And the good thing was the feedback was direct. I was able to see in the faces of the people if they liked the show, and we tried to capture that and bring that to the TV screens. Later, when I started to work as a producer, I had to trust the data, which showed me how the video performed. And now in the digital age, in the online age, it became much more difficult. And 2 years ago, in the Hamburg Media School, I wrote a master thesis about that, and we found out that in the online video, especially in the publishing houses who came from the print area, the data is somewhere else, and we don't have access to that. So sometimes it looks like this. We produce something, marketing says they have the data, I don't have access to that, and marketing says they said, wow, great, it performed well. 1 million clicks, they sold 1 million times the pre-roll. But I'm sad, I'm really crying if I see a graph like that, if we lose all the audience in between. And if I don't have any know-how about and the analytics, about all the data, what happened, I cannot learn. In television, I was able to learn on the next day. It was always easy to say, well, it's not our fault. RTL showed soccer. That was possible. But in digital area, it doesn't matter. You watch in the morning a video on your mobile phone, and you do it in the evening or on the weekend on a big screen, and you turn off in the exact the same second. So we have to focus on the content and understand what happened in this second. So that's why we started this company and said we have to bring together what belongs together. Understanding content and understanding analytics data, especially for us the creative guys. It's difficult to understand all this, all the data delivered to us. So we started with artificial intelligence, that what can AI do for us? There are a lot of AI systems out there, and we tried them out. And the first step is that we found out not every AI system brings the same data like the other one. If, for example, in this easy case, we analyzed with four providers 2 pictures. And the left picture from the team, all providers saw that there are 3 faces in the picture. And on the other face, on the other picture on the right side, Alexander has a red light in his face, and one provider failed. So this easy example shows if you really need the best data, what we need to understand what happens in the film, speech to text, who is the person who is talking, which topic are they talking about, when will they change topic, and guiding people through the video to understand when people turn off, it's essential to have the best data. That's why our first step was to build a platform, bringing all the AI power to one platform, to make it easy access to AI. Only if we combine those informations and bring it together, we're able to really understand. In this example, we did speech-to-text with 5 different providers, and we have our own algorithm to combine the information provided by 5 different providers. Especially small and medium enterprises, they have a lot of data, they want to try artificial intelligence, but it's very difficult to have an API to Google, an API to Microsoft, or to all the other providers with very special interest topics. And we made it easy, brought it on one platform, and everybody can try it out very easy. And even the big companies without the resources, they use that, and the feedback is really good. I can showcase that later on upstairs in the second floor. Here's an example with a very little sentence and different results that we combined. As I said, we care about content, and we want to understand content, we want to understand when people turn off. And this engine, the consolidator, is just step 1, the engine on what we built up. Now we are adding analytics data. We have to combine with our own neural networks that we train what happens in the content and what happens with the audience. And it's not only the analytics data, it's also the information, who's talking, like I said, tracking people through the video. Who's the main character? Who is the supporting character? Is it an on video or an on-off video? To understand what people are talking, to understand how long is the scene, how much is the frequency of editing, and how many topics they are talking about. And then it becomes much more difficult. We do a semantic analysis. We have to understand in which field of topic is the video, because if we understand something about fashion video, it's of course not the same like understanding motorsports videos. And we're clustering all that. We're bringing all the data together from content, from analytics, from own measurements with target groups, bringing that together, training our neural networks to predict user behavior before the video is online. So our first product is now online. We have an MVP. We can try that out to receive raw data back. And working on the prediction topic is we expect our MVP next year in summer. So one more. We index content. We curate the AI systems. This system is constantly growing. We make a faster workflow for journalists who need speech-to-text to work faster, to find the pictures in the film, and don't have to call the colleague, where is the interview you did half a year ago. We give insights of data, and we predict user behavior. So a few years I read articles about artificial intelligence when I was still cameraman, and someone wrote that AI will take over creativity. It will never. That's always we are the creative minds. But AI will support us having a faster workflow, make it possible to find the pictures, so we have more time to do what is our core business, telling engaging stories and entertaining the audience. I would like to continue talking to you upstairs in the second floor, and then I can show you a little bit. Thank you very much.
So, hi. I am Chrysanthi, and I'm an engineer at the TV development department of the technology sector of the Hellenic Public Corporation. We currently don't have an innovation plan in our company, and we thought that participating in the SANDBOX Hub will help us do our first steps in introducing an innovation culture in the Greek broadcaster. We have decided that the Greek sandbox will be called ART Media Lab, and its mission will be helping Greek startups enter the media world. The development of an innovation culture will contribute to the economic development and the increase of productiveness, and selective startups will be matched to different departments within ERT for a short-term collaboration. ERT will provide infrastructure, and the startups will have the chance to showcase their results within the sandbox community. The participation in the hub, we have agreed to participate in the hub on May. Since we had no previous experience and we began from scratch to create an action plan for the project. Since then, we have translated VRT's toolbox in order to use it, and we have taken advice from our legal department so that we comply with public procurement laws. On October 25th, an in-house presentation was held to the top management of the company in order to inform them about the project, the roadmap, the concept of the project, and the action plan was presented and discussed. The feedback that was taken was positive, and particularly the corporate social responsibility department was very excited with the whole idea, and will provide us with help in promotion actions and marketing actions. Okay, our basic problem seems to be how will different departments work together, and we have thought that we should create a committee which will consist of members from different departments of the company. And according to the project, the committee will change, and the members of the committee will change. The committee will follow some selection procedures and some matchmaking procedures. The targets of each project will be defined, and the collaboration will start. In the following days, we hope that an open invitation will be published on the company's website for possible participants in our Media Lab. And also some visits will be made to innovation workshops so that we can make the sandbox more familiar to Greek accelerators and startups. And that's it for me.
All right. Hello, and I guess it's good morning still to people. So this is me. So the Finnish broadcasting company has been quite active with startup scene since 2014, and we've run 3 accelerator programs with external partners. This picture is from our first batch. That was a demo day from 2015, and those are basically the numbers from our first batch, and then we did a couple of other batches, and we are really eager to understand and experiment with the startup space, and there were 5 foundings that we found during those 3 startup accelerator programs, and was thinking about sharing those for the first time with you guys. So first of all, when the startups were addressing to us, the first thing that they were looking for was visibility, and asking us to do content on them. So, can I get to your programs, and can we benefit from your media? The second thing that they were asking was an exit plan or an investment. So will you buy us off, or will you make a significant investment in our business? The third thing that they were asking was a proof of concept or a reference. So can we test our product with you guys, and can we say that we've been collaborating with the biggest media company in Finland? The fourth, if none of these 3 worked, was also, okay, so you probably don't know people, you have good networks, so can you open doors for us? And the fifth one, if none of those 4 worked, was like, okay, well, how about expertise from your experts, and how about mentoring? Well, we'll take that if none of these 4 work. And as a coincidence, of course, for us it worked the other way around. So the first thing we offered was, hey, our experts, we know everything about media, broadcasting. We're happy to help you with a mentor and be part of your business. We have a great network. How about opening some doors? Okay, no, well, good. Well, we can also try your tech if it's really nice. We can give you a reference if it works out fine. Okay, well, we can't really invest in you, but we can try to find ways to integrate your team into our company. Okay, we're not really interested in integrating into our company. Okay, that's difficult. And the last thing was like, well, we don't do content on businesses to promote businesses. So we're sort of like heading into a clash there. And so we were sort of like thinking, so what to do next? And then last year we came across Sandbox Hub. So with, like with most of our new things and new ideas that we don't understand and we don't know what the potential is, we integrated Sandbox Hub, or the idea, or Sarah and her team, or however you want to see it, into our beta department, and we ran a test. In this time, the test meant that we hired a person who was from the startup scene to try out the proposal what we got from the hub, meaning the points that you saw that the VRT Sandbox was using, sort of like the tools and the offering, and we were trying to pitch that to different startups and different events and seeing how that fit. Some of the findings were that many of the startups that this person encountered and got interested in the program were already startups that had found ways of working with YLE. So we were kind of like, okay, well, so we already have some sort of system, although it's not transparent and not very well set, but it's a bit different from this offering. So this offering itself wasn't something that would bring us new startups. At the same time, we found that most of the startups we already know, and so we need to go and look beyond Finland in order to find new startups. So in the end, the conclusion was that the Startup Hub as a network is actually a really interesting value proposal for us. So the next step for us is that we are trying to set up our own sandbox, or not trying, we have set it up already. The person, Joni Frilander, will be our main contact in the Sandbox Hub. And for us, we are not really, the basic philosophy is that we are interested in innovations and interesting products and solutions, regardless if they come from big tech giants or small companies. But we do realize that as a small company, it's really difficult to enter our bidding system, so we need to have supporting systems for them. And that's what Sandbox, our YLE Sandbox will be about. And we will try to find as many possibilities for as many startups to test their products in our systems. And we really hope to do this in order to promote European alternatives for big giants from China and United States, not saying that we won't use their solutions as well. But really we hope to see this as a starting point for a great big story. And the big value is in the network and the fact that we are able to validate startups and solutions for our partners. And on the other hand, we are able to have direct access to all these great startups that we are seeing already, for example, today. They have been already validated by our partner that we trust, and I think that will be a big sort of door opener for everybody. So, yes, welcome to YLE Sandbox.
Hello, I'm Mika Rautiainen. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Valossa, a high technology university spin-off from Finland, and proud incubatee of YLE Media Accelerator around 2015-16. We are doing video recognition and content intelligence platform. So basically we are your European choice for all the American companies who are now running ahead in the AI space. So we want to call us as a leading video recognition content intelligence company because we've been told so. So there are companies who are already comparing and contrasting some of the things we do against big cloud vendors, and they are happy to see that the solutions that we are providing with the AI software makes more sense with the media use cases. We are venture capital funded. It's funded by led by a UK VC, and we are working very closely with the media and entertainment sector in Europe and also in the US. So what differentiates us from, let's say, a typical company that gets an idea to classify between dog and cat pictures? Basically, the complexity of the video. So we are working diligently with the army of PhDs to solve the problem how computer can understand what's happening inside the video data. It consists of lots of data. So on the left side, you see lots of these kind of tags you get from single and individual frames. That might make sense for a still shot, but not necessarily describe the entire content. So we are working on activity recognition, audio sound recognition, and we have those models already existing in the platform, and they are creating information that gives more understanding of the video structure, namely shots, occurrences, scenes, certain types of sequences, and so on. Ultimately creating you for example, categorical outputs that make sense for different use cases. What we have currently available in the cloud is this comprehensive platform. It gives you video profiles and metadata, brand monitoring as a use case straight off the bat if you go and register to the platform, compliance use case, which is we are now collaborating with Sky in a pilot phase. And for that use case, we are training the AI to recognize lots of violent or suggestive content when it comes to possible violence or possible sexuality. Also substance use, accidents, and injuries of violence and accidents. So, and the further fourth use case, highlights, is something we are also working quite diligently right now. So highlights, content compliance are the main use cases we are working on right now. Content search and management comes as a side dish over the solutions, basically making you discover lots of stuff in the content. Other use cases we are working on, we have hundreds of companies currently actively in the platform, analyzing their content through our APIs and video insight tools related to aggregated video insights, user profiling, recommendations, understanding consumer behavior against the content, search engine optimization for the video data to get the meta tags and so on. So when we spun out the company in 2015, we were part of the Wiley Media Accelerator, and we got several of those questions towards Wiley, and what we got was lots of insight on, for example, what is important for the media companies when it comes to operationalizing a new technology. We were part of the Wiley beta trials where we actually had early engagements with our kind of understanding of machine learning models that make sense of the scenes and structures of this contemporary reporting magazine type of programs like A Studio or the Wiley News. And what we found was that based on the combinations of stuff when it comes to understanding who are the most prominent people, who are the most, what are the topics being discussed, our AI was able to segment accurately almost all of the news samples given to our system. That was starting the process for us to make more sense and more understanding on the video content itself. So the application opportunities for these kind of technologies are, of course, automated clipping of the long-form content, or then creating interactive video players, for example, that are intelligently skipping between different stories. So these were the early interfaces that we developed at the Wiley beta, so it was able to segment different storylines. For example, there's a news segment about slush, lots of people being interviewed, also Peter Westerbacher, the mastermind, one of the masterminds behind Angry Birds, and then the next segment is about the beasts coming over the border from Sweden, basically the wolves. Well, also from all around the borders. So, and then also other programs are segmenting things like, for example, political segments from the other news that is more about the economy. So one of the things that is profoundly needed and also resonates quite a lot on the AI-centric case is that we've developed our own very profound face detector, and when you take off-the-shelf solution from any open source community, for example, you can have those kind of results. So basically what we can detect are the white boxes, and then the off-the-shelf detectors can only pick up only a few faces of those. So I recommend also maybe AI-centrics can test our platform as well. Another example is lots of false positives, of course, which is another big problem. And this is the problem for all the AI systems that are meant to be classifiers, and then they are put in the wild, in the broad spectrum of media content types that are existing in the broadcast space. So a little bit benchmarks, we did some comparisons against, for example, Microsoft Media Services, and the recall at 99% of precision was quite high. This means basically that it gains more coverage, it discovers more stuff. We have also object recognition models, and we have categorization of things so that people, when they go to our platform and analyze the videos, they can filter out, for example, other things than sports-related stuff and find those scenes where sports are being displayed. The latest work is about inappropriate content, where we've also taken the long road, basically training very nuanced levels of nudity or sexual acts and even different layers of violence in the platform. And they are all testable right now if you go to velocity.com and sign up. We are also working on human analytics part. We have facial expression recognition models, and we are working very prominently on putting those as part of the platforms. They are currently in beta. So whenever customers engage with us in the system, we can enable those pipelines, and you can see the performance of those as well. So ultimately, I have a demonstration in the second floor, so you can come and see the results in action. But yes, the positive results we gained from Wiley Beta made us work harder on the structural understanding models and algorithms in the platform. We've evolved throughout the years to become highly elaborate description framework for video segments and video items. And then now we are working on models for automatic trailers and highlights extraction. And we have a few first AI-generated short content summaries available also that I can show you on the second floor. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mika. One quick question, yes?
Is it possible to use your automation to, for example, gamify a live show?
Yes, it's possible to have live solutions. So we have actually a couple of implementations where we are taking the HTTP live streams, and then we recognize objects on those live shows. So we can, for example, see when certain celebrities pop up on the live stream, and the delay right now is about a few seconds on the analysis.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Hello, my name is Tuomo from Bcaster. How many of you have taken photos over here? Yeah, I'm going to take one photo here right now. If SANDBOX would like to use those photos, how do you think they would be finding them? Would it be easy for them to find it? In most cases, it's impossible to find the photos and videos what is taken by the crowds in events like this, in news locations. So we want to be there to ensure that you have the content. Our solution is based on a software. We want to be part of your application so that we can turn the passive users who watch the shows into active users who produce content to you. The content is produced almost in real time. It's analyzed by AI, so finding the right content is very easy for you. You can access the users directly, send them guiding messages, push messages, even gamify the events. You can understand the consumer behavior, and you can access the big data, understand the consumer behavior before the big social media giants get all the material. We are not working against Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. We want to cooperate, and we want to provide solution into your hands so you can build the community around your fans, viewers, and users. With Yle, we had one case last summer that we did already. We were present in a festival called Sideways. Bcaster provided the application, mobile application, to the Sideways festival. They promoted it, and people downloaded it. So there were about 12,000 visitors, and roughly 25% of the people downloaded that application. From those application downloads were received huge amount of photos and videos that Yle used in their documentaries that they created, documentary stories. We provided push messages to guide the people that, hey, now it's time to take the photos. There is this guy on the stage, now take the photos. So we can generate a huge, wide view of what's going on and what's happening there. If you are the event organizer, you can monitor the stage, the area, what's happening, what's ongoing there, how things are proceeding. And with the AI, you can do it very efficiently. Here are some of the photos that were taken. We provided this simple map view for Yle to monitor what's ongoing, access the material already. We provided the same view also to the SIDEWAYS Festival. There are some photos, some funny photos, some moments that cannot be found anywhere else. There is no other way that you could access all those moments that there is. As mentioned, there is a huge amount of the material that is a short time period what's presented on the map. But with the AI analysis, keywords and tags, you can find what's interesting for you. We can analyze general objects, faces, brands, logos. So there is a huge amount of opportunities what you can do, how you can utilize it. I'm doing this really fast. I should have been talking longer, but since the lunch is coming, let's go ahead and have a few questions. So we want to provide the user-generated content into one place, into your hands. So you can access it directly, utilize it in your own communication, in your own broadcasting media, in your own media. The people, the users, we want to activate them, you can guide them. Typically, for example, in political cases, or if you want to have input from the people that, hey, what do you think about this? It's more difficult to send a crew out to film the people that, how do you feel? What do you think of this? Now people can send their feelings and thoughts and comments directly to you. And you can easily search them, monitor, analyze, and pick the cream from the crop. You can provide the guidance, and that's guidance and challenges to the people, even gamify it. And that's opening a huge amount of different opportunities for you. Last time I held this speech, it was 5-minute slot, and now I used 5 minutes, so we have a few minutes for questions if needed. I'll be there upstairs to provide you hands-on demo how fast we provide the solution material in a dashboard and available to you. Yes?
Sorry if I make only all these questions. Do you think this could be used to build a social media, European social media, this technology?
Yes, this is something that we are, especially in a sports side, we are cooperating with numerous and starting to cooperate with numerous sport teams. So there is, if you compare the social media followers of a sports team in US teams, like 20 million followers on Facebook, and app downloads is 100,000, 200,000. Why is that? Because the application used is usually considered as, it's just a one-way information. That is something that I can read on a web page. I don't need the application. And with this application, we can bring the people, like-minded people together, build a community. In the Facebook, like this sports team, the 98% of the communication within the sports team page is from fan to fan. So the fans want to be heard, they want to tell about themselves. And others listen. So yes, we want to build a community. Is it a social media? It's a little bit difficult question that what's the balance there, where we can draw the lines. But yes, in that sense, yes, we can be there and we can build it. Thank you.
So, what's Taster? So, if you can imagine, we had a lot of our content people, and as technology and content blurred, they go, I want to try out something new. I want to try a new event, I want to try a new way of showing stuff, I want a new service idea. Great, wonderful. But how do you actually then commission it and get it to find out what works and actually what is our content commissioners going to get behind? So we were doing various hackathons and various events with both internal and external partners and startups coming in. Again, what do you take further? So Tester is a way to actually to launch these experiments, to get feedback tools, and then to get data insights. How do you actually prove what works and what doesn't work? And these are things that are audience facing. So this is slightly out of date because it's actually 3 years old. It's based in the BBC's R&D department, and I think we're now up to something like 400 or 500 pilots, but it's focusing on emerging content and technology. And there are 3 tools we do. It's a place for discovery, a route so you can actually find this innovation. Where do people go to try and find these new tools, new ideas? A toolkit to enable people to experiment, and then really importantly, analytics to actually understand the audience. So come to the place, a place where you can actually rate it very simply, light touch, easy, but you start to get some ratings back. And then this all-important feedback screen. I don't know how well you can see the dashboard here, but as well as giving you ideas about who tried it, how many people have tried it, how many people have rated it, what were the ratings, when did they get over time, when did people look at it, what devices did they use it on, where did they come from, did they pass it on, did they share it, and what do you know about the age range, etc. So if I have a look, rather than talking you through it, this was going to work so well, wasn't it? Is it Alt? That's it. So if I have a look at a couple, this is BBC Taster working now in real time. We've got a whole load of projects up here, and I'm going to just very quickly show you a couple of different ones. Radio Map. And it was working when I checked it yesterday. Yes. So this is a way to navigate World Service radio stations. This was generated by somebody called Tom Dodds. And looking at Tom, I go and look on my staff, and he comes from our news technology group. He's not a program maker. He actually does infrastructure for news, but went, hey, how can I better get to World Service Radio and find out what to do? So let's have a go. So, and go, oh, hang on, where am I? I'm in Germany. Now, what can I see? Oh, this is what I can find.
The industry has grown.
Oh, look.
These days, the aim on acetate could be...
And I can hear World Service News, just a different way of looking at it. But if I was in India, this is what I can get in India at the moment. So this is a different way. I can come and try this out, and then I can then go and I could rate it. Okay, so rate from 1 to 5, what do you reckon?
There is progress between the 3 parties.
Am I getting 4s? Any advance on? Any of those 4s? Right, let's go for a 4. Okay. Do your forest language? Not sure about that. And yes, I like using the map. Okay? I was just browsing. Right. That's my computer. So you can get a bit more. Skip that one. And a few more questions. I'm not going to do that one in front of everyone. Prefer not to say. Right. And skip that. Right, so if we now go back to there, let's go back. And that was one that came from the BBC. But we can also then, go the same way, and go back one more. So this is one, if I look at fake news, hot topic, the European Commission are talking about it, the EBU are talking about it, everyone you hear is talking about it, including certain presidents. But this one is a project that was done with, and if you have a look at who actually did it, it's a professor from Dundee University. So this is the one that BBC, we started doing it for internal projects, but now we're working much more with partners, and again, ways of people trying out our content. This one is, let's have a look. And this one's actually was helping school children to understand whether you can trust a piece of content. So it gives you get an article and it takes you through the reasons and it asks you questions about it, gets you to try out why could you trust this, what should you be worried about, what should you be looking at actually to test your fake news. So what would I say out of the stuff we've done in Taster? It's really, really important to be able to try out new content ideas, and having something that is fairly light touch for people to come to and test and try is, we found, really valuable. Some of these services, some of the things we've done have then moved on to the next level, and actually gives the commissioners some confidence in taking these ideas forward. I'm going to have to put a slight caveat. Some of the tools we've been looking at open sourcing and sharing these Taster tools. Unfortunately, of course, the key people left and got poached by places like Spotify, or disappeared off to have children. So at the moment, the open Taster is slightly less resourced, but it's something we would certainly be happy to share some of our experience with others. So, thank you.